Edward Snowden has gotten asylum in Russia. He will have asylum for at least 1 year. He has left the building. He's left the airport. He has not a departing flight, but departing rights. All right. And this is, of course, very good news, and news that the Americans are furious over. Now, not real Americans, American citizens, in the latest poll, actually by a 55 to 34 margin, say that he is a whistleblower and not a traitor, despite all of the propaganda by both of the major political parties and the media. But, of course, the politicians are furious. Jay Carney, White House spokesperson, is going to tell us how terribly disappointed we are in the Russian government.
We are extremely disappointed that the Russian government would take this step despite our very clear and lawful requests in public and in private to have Mr. Snowden expelled to the United States to face the charges against him. Mr. Snowden is not a whistleblower. He is accused of leaking classified information and has been charged with 3 felony counts, and he should be returned to the United States as soon as possible, where he will be accorded full due process and protections. This move by the Russian government undermines a long-standing record of law enforcement cooperation that has recently been on the upswing since the Boston Marathon bombings.
Will the president now not go to Moscow in September as originally planned?
I don't have a scheduling announcement for you today, but obviously this is not a positive development, and we have a wide range of interests with the Russians, and we are evaluating the utility of a summit.
Oh, they might step out of that G20 summit because they're so mad about this. He says he's going to get the full due process and protections accorded to him by the United States justice system. The same justice system, of course, that said HSBC, a giant bank, could do money laundering for Al-Qaeda and for some of the top drug warlords in the world and not get any prison sentence, but that Bradley Manning, for being a whistleblower against the American government, but for the American people, would get a possible sentence of 136 years. Gee, I wonder why Snowden did not trust that U.S. justice system. Extremely disappointed in the Russians that they would actually protect someone who could be considered a political prisoner if he was brought here. Now, of course, some of the other senators are even going to get more animated by this. Chuck Schumer, establishment senator through and through, says, quote, "Russia has stabbed us in the back, and each day that Mr. Snowden is allowed to roam free is another twist of the knife. Mr. Snowden is a coward who has chosen to run." A coward, I love that, right? The guy gave up a perfectly great life in Hawaii, making 6-digit salary with a super hot girlfriend, and endangered the rest of his life to be on the run. He couldn't even change clothes for over a month as he was in that Russian airport because he's a coward? Well, he had plenty of opportunities not to be courageous. Could have just done what almost everyone else does. Oh, we're violating Americans' rights and privacy? Who cares? I'll just sit in Hawaii and have an awesome time. That's what a coward might have done. Or perhaps a senator who cashes in from Wall Street, defense contractors, and every other person who comes around with a donation and then does exactly whatever that moneyed interests and political establishment would like. That might be a coward. The guy who would never challenge authority and power and stand up for the American people. That might be a coward. But Edward Snowden is a coward? Please. And what do these people want? They say, oh, he wouldn't go to freedom-loving countries if he, wasn't a coward. So he's gone to Russia and China, and they're not freedom-loving countries. Well, perhaps if we protected whistleblowers, then we could claim to be a freedom-loving country. Instead, what we do is we persecute and prosecute to the fullest extent of the law, and sometimes made-up law, people who are whistleblowers and letting the American people know what's going on. My God, Congress people are now meeting with President Obama saying, we had no idea the degree to which you were spying on our citizens. That's the classic definition of a whistleblower. But no, Jay Carney's mad, Schumer's mad, you've embarrassed the government, how dare you? In the old days, the king would say, I declare him to be an outlaw. And in fact, that is exactly what they have declared him. And they are furious that the Russian government will not agree to those terms and call him an outlaw and turn him into the authorities immediately. If you think that's bad, it gets much crazier. Lindsey Graham, that this act, quote, could not be more provocative and is a sign of Vladimir Putin's clear lack of respect for President Obama. Now there he's taking a little political pot shot at Obama, and he knows that President Obama is scared to death of right-wing attacks, so he says, oh, I guess you're weak. Look, Putin's poking you in the eye. Lack of respect for you. So that Obama goes, no way. I'll charge him even with more acts of espionage and aiding the enemy and whatever else I can do to execute him. Oh, no, I'll prove to you, Lindsey Graham and John McCain, how tough I am. And it's worked over and over. And, of course, Snowden charged with the Espionage Act. Again, President Obama has abused that act. He has used it far more, in fact, more than twice than all other presidents combined. Gee, I wonder why people wouldn't want to come to the United States and trust this justice system. John McCain says what the Russians did was, quote, a slap in the face of all Americans. Hey, Johnny, speak for yourself. It's not a slap in my face. And by the way, it's not a slap in the face of 55% of Americans, according to a new Quinnipiac poll, which confirms an earlier poll from 2 weeks ago, same exact number. 55% consider him a whistleblower. So speak for yourself. You certainly don't speak for us, John McCain. He says this should have serious repercussions. What are the serious repercussions? What the hell are we going to do to Russia? This is my favorite part. The Hill reports, McCain said that the Obama administration should expand legislation that sanctions Russian human rights violators and reconsider finishing all phases of a missile defense shield in Europe. Are you effing kidding me? Because of Snowden, you're going to go to an expanded version of the missile defense shield program? What are we going to do? Nuke Russia? How insane are you? Are there no bounds to your insanity? So now the establishment is furious. How dare you let the American people know what we were up to? How dare you let the other congressmen that we didn't make aware of the programs that we've been, how dare you? Oh yeah, because Russia has given him asylum for a year? We might just have to bring up some new missile defense shields in preparation for what might come next, the serious repercussions that perhaps John McCain is referring to. We've lost all sanity here in our government. And people wonder why Edward Snowden wouldn't voluntarily turn himself into the U.S. government? Do you really have to ask that question? How far gone are you if you have to ask that question? I wouldn't turn myself into the U.S. government, and if you did, you'd be a sucker and an idiot.